Hey, Brian and Rachel Goulet of the Goulet Pen Company and inknouveau.com. We are here. It is December 12th of 2012 for another Right Time at 9. This is our live weekly broadcast.
12-12-12, big day.
Yeah, 12-12-12. This will be like the last time that we'll have
in our lifetime
that kind of sequence. Yeah, until what, 2101. Wow,
yeah.
That's crazy. Anyway, 12-12-12 today. Happy whatever day, whatever this is. I don't know if people are calling it a day. It's like a special thing. Maybe. Anyway, you'll probably notice that we sound a little bit better, especially me, than we did last week. Because last week we were sick. We still did our broadcasts, but we were on the brink of needing to stay home from work.
We actually did stay home from work the next day.
We stayed home on Thursday because we were that sick. And it's hard, especially when you have two young kids in diapers, to be sick because you don't really get any time off. So anyway, we at least got to stay home and relax a little bit, and now we are doing just that. So, but we're back to work, doing our thing.
Yep.
And, turn off my phone.
Sorry.
Here, give it to me. You gotta turn the sound off.
Sorry.
Okay. So anyway, so here we are. It is now the next week, and we've got several things lined up to talk about. Not like as stacked a broadcast that we've had in previous weeks, but we got a lot of TWSBI stuff to update.
Yeah, we had a good talk with TWSBI, got a lot of answers to our questions, which I'm sure are the same questions you have. So we're going to share with you what we can share, what we know.
Yeah. TWSBI is one of those companies that just keeps on coming out with new stuff and updating things and innovating things and
improving upon itself.
That's really awesome and great to see, but it is a lot confusing and it's a lot to keep up with. So we were able to talk with them on the phone and clarify some things about just basically everything that we had questions about.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff coming out and that sort of thing. Sorry, it's a baby monitor.
Yeah, it's being stupid. Anyway, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and kick it off about TWSBI. Oh, what does TWSBI stand for?
Read on their website. It's
confusing.
2 words. Oh, that monitor.
Go ahead and talk. I'm going to take care of the monitor.
Oh, that's what I say. It's 2 words in, is it Taiwanese? Basically put together, flipped around, that sort of thing. It's a lengthy explanation, but check out TWSBI.com. I'm pretty sure they have an explanation there. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember offhand, so I'm just going to refer you there.
Okay. Yes, it is Taiwan. They're made in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Nibs from Germany. But anyway, we got a whole bunch of things.
Bai means pen in Chinese. TW, Taiwan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taiwan's pen.
Yep.
There you go.
So anyway, a lot of other people's pens too, because they're popular all over the place.
Yeah, but it's the most prominent brand I know of to come out of Taiwan.
Yeah. Okay, so first thing we want to talk about TWSBI is that they have discontinued the 540.
We've been talking about that for quite a while now. I think we're one of the first.
We've been talking about it a lot. We put it up on our website, but we're still getting questions about what's happened to the 540.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get it out there again. Excuse us if you've heard it like 5,000 times and you're sick of hearing it. But this is news to some that the 540 is discontinued and it is being replaced by the 580.
Yep. We got our last batch in and we were told to drop the price and we did, and that basically cleared them all out.
Yep.
But have no fear, the 580 is not far behind.
Yeah.
So, 580, let's talk about the 580.
Yeah, the 580 is replacing the 540. And a lot of people have had questions about, are the nibs going to be compatible? Is it going to be around the same price? What's it going to look like?
When?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff to talk about here. So we'll go ahead and tackle everything that we know. The first thing that we know is that the 580 is not going to be available until
about late January.
Late January, we're told.
They say mid-January. I know it takes about a week to get to us from California. It's give or take a couple weeks. It's always how it gets. Always how it goes, sorry. So we're looking late January. Subject to change, of course.
As always.
The nibs always seem to be the holdup, because they want to make sure they're perfect.
Right.
So we're looking late January. So not too far away, just a couple weeks. They're going to come out with a clear version first. So clear first and then colors to follow. We don't know what the colors are yet. They still aren't decided. So
Yeah.
if they're
In
not
fact-
decided, that means it'll be a little while till we see them.
Well, in fact, they were asking us what colors we would like. So if you guys have any feedback about what colors you'd like to see,
let us know.
let us know.
So we can let them know.
We can give them some feedback. We have some ideas and things, but
Yeah, we can look at like our overall sales and say, oh, black is most popular, blue's most popular, whatever.
Yeah.
But given that they had the blue, the smoke, and the orange before, if you guys want something different, even if blues are most popular, if you want something different, let us know. But clear
Yeah.
is coming out first, and that's the one that's coming out in
clear is
late
definitely
January.
coming. That's a given. I know everybody wants clear. As far as what these pens are actually going to look like, we haven't seen a picture or anything, so we're just going by a verbal description.
Yeah.
But we're told that it's going to be essentially a TWSBI Mini, but the size of a 540.
Right.
So
So it's going to have some changes to, the back end of the grip section. The main reason they're coming out with a 580 is to improve the cracking issues from the way the grip and everything was formed on the 540. Enough changes to merit calling it a new number, the 580.
Right, they did this before.
The 530 to the 540.
The first pen they had come out was the 530. This was before we carried TWSBI. They only had that in a limited batch, and it was kind of a proof of concept for them to prove that this was a popular pen and style and stuff. They made some improvements there, improved the ink capacity, improved some of the cracking issues there too, and so on. That was the 540. Now they're improving the 540 even more, and from what I understand, they're going to have the metal band around the front of the grip section, just like on the TWSBI Mini on the 580s. So that you're gonna see a lot of what the Mini looks like in the 580, but bigger.
The nibs are going to be the same as far as size and that sort of thing. They're in the process of
The
transition.
same as the 540.
As the 540,
Right.
yes, not the Mini, sorry.
Right.
They're in the process of transitioning to Yovo nibs, and we'll talk about that a little more later. The 580, is it going to be mixed? Is that right?
I don't know yet what type of nibs they're going to have on
I think we won't know
there.
until they come out.
Yeah, we won't.
But the 540 nibs are going to be compatible with a 580. We did confirm that.
Yes.
So if you have a 540, if you have 540 nib unit, that sort of thing, you will be able to use it in your 580. And I imagine there are going to be plans for italics as well as the extra fine through broad.
Yeah, the only thing is the nib unit, because the grip section is going to be a little bit different, the nib unit itself is going to be the same. So like the housing, the black housing and the nib and the feed are going to be the same. The grip section is going to be a little bit different. So it may be kind of like the video that I did with swapping the TWSBI Mini and the
Right.
TWSBI 540. I have a video on actually taking the nib out of the grip section and stuff like that and swapping it.
Well, you did
it may end up being like that.
You did a video a while back about switching on the 540,
Yes.
because the nib units only come in clear, and if you had a colored pen, say you wanted to put a stub on your blue pen, we have a video on that, so it'll be the same sort of thing. I imagine nib units will be available again, probably in clear.
Yeah.
And the price is going to be the same. It's going to be $50. So we did confirm that. It won't have a price increase, at least as of right now. Now, stuff happens in manufacturing, and they may find out that something costs more than it should. But right now, the plan is to release it same price, $50.
Yep.
So late January. I haven't put it up on our website yet, just because I'm waiting for like a prototype picture just to confirm that price. But I'm thinking I'll go ahead and put it up pretty soon so we could start our email notification list. And that'll also help us know how many to order if we get as many as we'd like. So
We usually end up never getting as many as we like.
but it still allows us to ballpark in case we have that option.
It does,
So it
yeah.
helps us be prepared. And of course, if you're on the list, you get first notification and have the best shot at getting one.
Yep.
So I think that's it with the 580.
I think so. If you ask us any questions in the chat if we didn't cover anything. I think we covered
There
it
was
pretty
a
thoroughly.
question, and we're not covering this, but there's a couple questions. One is, how are the minis? Are they more durable than the 540? Some folks have said there is a little bit of talk of cracking on the thread and FPM. I haven't had any customers yet complain. I've heard, another retailer I was talking to said they had a couple. It doesn't seem as prevalent as a 540. If it happens, though, contact TWSBI. I've heard for everyone else who had the issue, they got replacements.
Yeah, TWSBI's really good about warranty
And
stuff.
don't just keep it to yourself either. Be like, oh, it's not that bad, because by passing the feedback up to TWSBI, they can take it back to the they are the manufacturer, but take it back to the factory and make sure that they're making changes to prevent that from happening. But if nobody speaks up, they might not know how widespread the issue is and know how seriously to take it. So, I'm not saying, oh, we're just selling, defective pens or anything. It's not anything like that. Again, I've heard no reports myself. But
yeah, we haven't had anyone actually contact us,
but their warranty is they're fabulous. They take care of you.
Yeah,
they like to handle everything directly. So if we forward you to them, it's not because they're trying to pass the buck. It's just how they want to do things, and they don't give us replacement parts, so they have them all there. So
Heartman85 is asking, can we return our 540s for a credit towards the 580? Nah, it's going to depend on each retailer of where you got it. If they're willing to take it back or not, but it is a discontinued pen, so
well, it's like if
it's
already used, I don't know what we can do with it, as far as reselling it. So I don't know.
Yeah, contact your retailer that you bought it from.
Our return policy is that we don't take returns on clearance items, which at this point the TWSBI 540 is considered a clearance item.
Right.
And
it makes sense. Anything that you buy that's clearance or discontinued, the retailer can't really resell it.
We generally don't resell used pens anyway. It's very rare. We'll put them on the bottom shelf. But
yeah, but we're really sympathetic about that kind of stuff. So send us an email. Go to orders@gouletpens.com. Send us an email, and we'll assess the individual situation if that's the case.
Once
but
the
I know
580 actually comes
there's
out,
not
of
any
course.
kind of like recall situation or anything like that.
Oh, no.
That's not. And if you have any quality issues or warranty issues, contact TWSBI.
They still have replacement parts for the 540. They'll take care of you. Or maybe they can exchange towards a 580, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know what we could do with it.
But if it's just a preference thing of like, oh, I don't want the 540 now that the 580 is going to come out, you may have to go look towards reselling it to someone else and putting that towards it. So.
Any cracking issues on the 700? I haven't heard of any.
I haven't heard of any. Yeah, no.
We've had them since April and haven't really heard any.
Yeah. They made some changes to those. You'll notice on the Vac-700 that there's actually, like, especially the colored ones, like the blue one, and you can tell on the orange one, the color's a little bit different on the grip section than it is on the body.
A little sturdier.
I think that's because they did something different to the plastic to make it. I don't know that for sure.
We're going to talk about the TWSBI notebook in just a little bit. We have some other things to get through first, but we are going to talk about it for sure.
Yeah.
I want to talk about nibs real quick, since we kind of alluded to it.
Yeah, nib units. We got stubs for the Mini.
Stubs for the Vac-700. Well, okay, first of all, nib units for the Vac-700. We already have nib units for the Mini. Nib units for the Vac-700 will be here in probably 2 to 3 weeks. Haven't gotten the shipping confirmation or anything, but that's their estimate as of right now. So the end of the year, early January, we'll have clear Vac-700 nib units. Around the same time, early January, we will have stubs for both the Mini and the Vac-700. This will be available in nib units as well as, I believe, in the pen in the clear version. So those I do have on our site, so you can get on the email notification list. But
like we mentioned earlier, I have a video on swapping the 540 nib housing within the grip section. That's what you're going to need to do with the Vac-700 nib units, and the Mini if you have a black one or a classic. If you want to get the grip section to match, because the nib units are only going to be coming with a clear grip section.
Someone's asking for price. I'm looking on our website right now. The price for the Vac-700 nib units is $24 for extra fine through broad, or $26 for the italics. And let's talk about 700 nibs while we're at it.
Right.
Which I think is the next topic too.
Right.
If you want to flip to it.
Well, I was going to talk about the clear Vac-700.
Well, that has to do with the nibs.
Okay. Anyway, clear Vac-700, that's coming out tomorrow.
Tomorrow we'll have our shipments.
We got a shipping tracking and everything.
Paid for expedited shipping so we can have
Originally we were supposed to get them, like Monday next week, which would be like the last day that USPS says that stuff will be delivered pretty much.
No, it's not.
No?
No,
it's not the last
much
day?
later in the week.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, we wanted to have as much time for you to get holiday gifts and stuff before you run into any deadlines. So we paid for expedited shipping. And we're going to have them tomorrow so that we can try to get them packed up before the weekend. We're pretty much expecting they're going to sell out tomorrow. I'm just going to say that right now.
We don't have a lot. We have more than we normally get for a new release, But here's the other thing. Our wait list has been going on since January. There's a lot more people on the wait list than we're getting pens. However, since it's been so long, other people might have gotten colored pens in the meantime. They might have shopped elsewhere. Yeah. So I don't really know what to expect.
Our wait list, we usually are able to look at a number and see, okay, like this is going to be really, really, it's going to go really, really fast. Or other times it might be like, okay, we feel pretty good about having stock for a little while.
In this
we're
case,
able to kind of guess that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a weird situation because we've had the wait list going, not the wait list, I shouldn't say wait list.
The email notification list.
Because it's not a wait list, doesn't guarantee anything. But it's we've had the email notification list going on since January, but it was a good 6 months before that.
They were originally supposed to be April, and it just kept getting postponed.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it was so long, and like we waited as long as possible before even putting it on our website because the date just kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and we didn't want to exacerbate any of the anticipation more than it had to, and then. We knew the Vac-700s were going to arrive in March, and then it got pushed back to April, and then the clears got pushed back even further. And so now they're finally coming, and I'll believe it when I actually see them in my hands.
No, they're coming.
I know, but it's been so long.
I paid for them, and I got the tracking. They're coming.
I know.
And they're on TWSBI's website. They exist.
I know.
They definitely do exist.
Yeah, but anyway, so
I was starting to get to talking about the nibs. These are coming with new and improved. I'm saying improved because obviously they wouldn't make a change for the worse. To Yovo nibs. They used to be Bach. Everything with the 700 was Bach to date. Now they're transitioning to Yovo. Yeah. So the clear are going to come with Yovo installed. We are getting replacement nibs for all of our current inventory of colored 700. So if you order a colored 700 from tomorrow on, you'll get the pen with the Bach nib installed as well as a separate nib and feed that is Yovo. So you actually get 2 nibs, which is kind of cool. So that way if you have any flow issues, you can try the upgraded Yovo. Because that's the one thing I've heard about the Bach is the biggest complaint is the flow. Just not flowing as well as it should. Yeah. So that's part of the transition to Yovo. So from tomorrow on out, all 700s will have Yovo nibs. So I just wanted to clarify that because we get a lot of questions about it. So the other thing, if you already have a 700, which would be Bach, and you are unhappy with your nib or your flow, contact TWSBI. They should have plenty of replacements. They can send you the upgraded Yovo nib and feed, and that should help your flow issues.
Yeah.
So
keep talking. I'm going to throw up TWSBI's email address here.
It's I mean, I can put it in the chat.
Well, I can put it on here. You keep talking.
It's TWSBIinc@gmail.com. Ink is an INC, not the liquid ink.
Yep.
I'm making sure I got everything in the chat. Okay. So clear 700s and upgraded nibs for all the 700s will be here tomorrow. We just restocked the minis and the ink bottles yesterday. So if you're waiting for one of those, we did get those in yesterday. So we are well stocked. Should have the minis for a while. So I'm happy about that. Let's talk about some other TWSBI stuff. There's Vac-700 inkwells. Do you want to transition?
Well, I just got the email address up there now.
All right, TWSBI Ink. TWSBI Ink.
There you go. Check that out. It's kind of hard to
Micarta nibs? I have not heard of any plans to make those available as separate nib units.
I don't think so. No, because the grip section is like that micarta material,
which is part of the whole.
It's not gonna.
I don't believe there are.
No.
Do you know what size those nibs are?
I believe they're number 5s, but I do not know that for sure. I would have to check.
Yeah, we'll have to check.
Yeah.
Vac-700 inkwells are going to be coming out soon.
Yes.
By soon, I mean about mid-January, mid to late January. We'll see how it goes. Mm-hmm. So if you had your think about that. I don't know much about them.
They have some pictures of them on their Facebook page, I believe.
Well, those were prototypes.
They're prototypes, and
so
things can change.
Exactly.
I don't think we have any pictures of anything final.
I don't have a price on that either. So it's not on our website yet, but as soon as I get more information, I will put it up there.
Yeah, but they are coming. So I know a lot of people have been asking, basically ever since the Vac-700s came out, when's the Vac-700 inkwell coming out? Because the Vac-700 will not fill from the current 540 inkwell.
I mean, you could put it in the bottle like any pen.
Well, yeah.
But if you want to use the special filling mechanism,
attachment
it won't
thing,
work.
The aluminum thing on top. That only works on the 540 and on the Mini, and then the
580,
the standard international cartridge converter as well.
Yeah, the 580 should be compatible with the 540 inkwell. I don't know why it wouldn't be, because basically everything about it is the same except just the improvements to the plastic.
It should be. I mean, we won't know for certain until we have them, but since it is compatible with the same nib unit, I would be really surprised if
if the nib and the feed and everything are the same, it should be fine.
Yeah. Worst case, you can always just fill from the bottle because it's got the insert, the cone-shaped insert in there that makes it easy to fill.
I can't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Let's talk about other new TWSBI stuff coming in 2013. They've hinted a lot at it on Facebook and FPN and such. We got a little more information. Mm-hmm. So first, let's talk about the Eco. The Eco is short for economical pen. It has
nothing to do with eco-friendly
environment. No. It's more cost effective. It's going to be in the $25 to $30 price range. It's going to be piston fill. And I do mean 2013. I mean, these are currently beginning production. So if they're beginning production, that means they're going to be at the most a couple months away, barring any major issues that happens in when they ramp up.
Yeah.
So like I said, $25, $30 price range. The color scheme is going to be, they actually posted the final, I wish we had the picture, but on their Facebook page they have the final design, and it's a similar color scheme to the classic Mini. So you have like the black cap, the clear barrel, and the black accent, so it's like black and clear.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It's going to have fixed nibs, so that means the nib units aren't going to swap. They're like aren't separate.
Well, the whole grip section won't pull out. It'll be removable, like the Monteverde nibs or the
like Edison's or whatever.
Yeah.
Where the nib and feed you can remove, but not.
You can pull it out of there, like a Noodler's pen. You can pull the nib and feed out of the pen, but it won't have like unscrewing removable nib units like that. And they won't be selling nibs for those pens separately.
Right. I mean, the fact that the pen itself is $25, $30, that's the cost you pay for a nib unit for another pen. You figure, well, just get another pen if you want another size. Is the Eco a snap cap or a twist? I actually don't know. I'll have to look at their page and see if I can get some more information.
I'm not sure. Yeah. That's a good question. I should have thought about that.
I'll have to pull up the picture and look at it in more details. So we are expecting those. What did they say? I'm looking at our notes here.
While you're looking at that, there's somebody in the chat. Let's see here. SS Blue is asking,
in the next couple months,
is there a video on how to swap out a Vac-700 nib? Well, there haven't been any Vac-700 nibs units yet, so no one's really swapped them out yet. But you can just unscrew the grip section and swap it out, just like the 540, just like the Mini. So you'll be able to unscrew the whole grip section just like that. Or you can actually just pull the nib out, like a Noodler's pen, and just kind of yank it right out of there. I'll probably do a video or something like that. Maybe when the clear ones come out, or probably when the nib units come out. Maybe I'll do a video on that, just to clarify.
Will it hold a ton of ink like the other TWSBIs? I imagine it would.
The Eco?
Based on the designs I've seen, probably not as much.
It's a smaller pen, so maybe it'll hold like a milliliter, sort of like the Mini does. I wouldn't imagine it would hold any more than a milliliter. I'd be surprised if it did. But it should hold more than your typical cartridge converter for sure.
And then the other pen that they currently have in development is the 850. Not to be confused with the 580, but the 850. This is a metal pen, aluminum pen. This is going to come out later in 2013. Actually, no, our notes say mid-January.
For which one?
No, sorry, that says 580. Sorry, I'm trying to look at the notes here. The 850. Okay, they're just going into production now, so probably first quarter of the year we should see those.
And I've been told they're going to be very limited quantities to start.
They're very, I guess, labor intensive.
Yeah, well, they're metal, so
right.
They're very.
The price is not set yet, but it's going to be around $200.
It's going to be up there.
Just because of the difficulty of manufacturing the metal.
Yeah.
It's different than like a Lamy All-Star. It's going to be a lot more
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really know what
We're not even really sure because we have limited information. You guys have about as much information about what the 850 is as we do by looking at, TWSBI's Facebook page and stuff.
Folks in the chat, by the way, are saying that the Eco is a twist cap.
It's twist, okay.
Instead of snap cap.
That's what I thought. I'd be surprised if they'd done a snap.
Yeah. So the 850, as soon as we get more information on it, we'll put that on our site as well. We're looking first quarter of 2013.
There's a lot of
pricey
stuff
and limited, but
yeah, and the way that it's going to work out with TWSBI, from what I understand, basically, from what I've been told, is most of China shuts down for the month of February.
The Chinese New Year.
Yeah, so TWSBI's factory will basically be shut down. China, Taiwan, everything kind of surrounding that. TWSBI is made in Taiwan, but basically it all shut. They all shut down for the month of February. So basically anything that has been made before February will ship out. January.
Yeah, but then there'll be a little gap for a while. And then...
But if they run into some kind of production issue or something crazy happens and it ends up not getting done before January,
then you're looking March.
Then it's going to be March, April before it gets done, and you'll have big delays. So I'm hoping there won't be any issues like that, but it's really outside of our control for sure.
Yeah.
And, we'll just have to kind of see how it comes. But, I know a lot of people are commenting in the chat about, that means mid 2014 or whatever.
Not necessarily.
I don't know. They've
I mean, it might just mean March or April instead of January.
Yeah, TWSBI, they're trying to do something really cool, and they're trying to push the limits of what can be done, especially at the prices they offer the pens. So
yeah.
They've had some delays
I
in the
really
past.
don't know of, other than Noodlers, I don't know of any piston fill pens, in these price ranges.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
There just aren't many of them.
Yeah.
There really aren't.
They're very, very
I think
rare.
that's part of why TWSBI so popular.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And the Vac-700, I mean, for $85 is like...
$80.
$80, yeah. It's like nothing else even comes close to that. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is like the Pilot Custom 823, which is pushing $400, so to get a vacuum fill pen is much more expensive.
Well, the new minis have Yovo nibs. They already do. All the minis have Yovo. So that transition has already happened for those pens.
Yeah.
Next up is the TWSBI Journal. They just sprung this late last week on their Facebook page. We're like, what? And I'm trying to think of any other pen manufacturer who has come out with their own paper, and I really can't think of any. Maybe one.
Yeah.
So this is a first, and you think, well, if they know pens, they should know paper. There's a lot of people who like and don't like what they put out. It's basically looking to be a hardbound journal. It looks to be pocket size based on their pictures, and I'm guessing
like an A6 size,
like
maybe?
like a 4x6, 3.5 by 5.5 sort of thing. Hardbound with perforated pages, and a lot of people are like, I hate perforated pages, but
the thing is, though, it's like whether you do perforated or not,
somebody's going to be unhappy.
Somebody's going to be thrilled, and somebody's going to be
well, at least with perforated, it's like if you don't want to take it out, you don't take it out. It's not like they come out on their own or anything. It's not like they're like, you have to actually pull them out.
Right.
So we don't know the price point yet. They're in production right now, so they're working on making them. They won't really know the price point until they get a little further along in the process.
And they tested, I think on their Facebook page, it said they tested like something like 40 or 50 different kinds of paper for this. And they said originally they were going to put 100-gram paper in it.
Right.
But the journal ended up being so thick that they ended up going with 80-gram instead.
So it's 80-gram paper.
I imagine it's going to be very fountain pen friendly.
Yeah, I mean,
because
that's
they tested
the
so
whole
many,
point.
and that's like their thing. So I'd be really surprised if it wasn't. But I'm very eager to see what it's like.
We still don't know much about like the line rulings or how many pages it has. And again, I don't know the price point. So we'll let you know when we know more. But those we are shooting for. Actually, they told me when.
Did they give you a deadline for those?
They
'Cause I'm not sure that I got.
Did. I'm looking at my email right now.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have any
We're looking about
info.
1 to 2 months. Again, with the Chinese New Year, it may be before or after that. So it could be late January. It could be March. That'd be my guess. So we're looking first quarter of the year as well for those.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get more information, I will share it.
Lots of exciting stuff.
Again, yeah, I don't have a price point. I don't know much about the specs about the notebook, but they just posted it last week. So it's like, what?
Yeah, we just kind of found out about it with everybody else. So
obviously we'll carry it. That goes for all of these products, by the way. Whatever they produce, we're going to try to get. Along those lines, they do make a couple other products that we don't currently carry. And I don't think any other retailer does either, but we have the opportunity. They also make some ballpoints and pencils. I don't know if you've seen them on TWSBI's website. They also post on their Facebook page. But they make them. We can sell them. They are around the $25 retail point. So they come in black or silver. The pencils come with 0.5, I'm sorry, I'm reading my email here, 0.5 or 0.7 lead size. You can do retractable tip or fixed tip on the pencil, and then there's also a ballpoint version, again in black and silver. So we were kind of wondering what interest you guys had in them. If you wanted us, we could just order just a couple just to try.
We're in an interesting position because honestly, we haven't really tried to carry pencils before.
Oh, first of all, has anyone tried them? Has anyone bought these TWSBI products, the pencils and ballpoints, and what do you think of them? So let us know, either here in the chat or if you're watching, send us an email. I haven't heard anything about them, so if you've already bought one, let us know. So that just first getting that out there.
And for us, it's interesting because we always think could we do ballpoints or roller balls or pencils and stuff like that?
We've tried before, and it's been tough.
We tried with certain pens, we used to carry the Caran d'Ache 849 and the Metal X and stuff like that, and they didn't do very well for us. And it's weird. It's ink cartridges don't really sell for us.
Yeah, we have a bottle.
Ballpoints really didn't sell. Yeah, it's we've got a hardcore fountain pen crowd, and not too many people are interested in anything else from us anyway. So,
but the way I figure, we've grown organically. We started out with no pens at all, other than the ones you're making. Paper and ink, and we gradually grew into fountain pens. We are the Goulet Pen Company, not the Goulet Fountain Pen Company. So the way we're kind of figuring out
actually we built.
I know we started with
built this company
with
rollerballs.
I know.
Back when I was making pens, that's what we did exclusively. We didn't do anything with fountain pens.
I know, it's been such a weird
we've
journey
We've had a journey, but obviously fountain pens are our passion and what we really enjoy.
Well, we're trying to figure out, we've been talking a lot, where do we want to go in 2013? How big do we want to grow our business? That sort of thing. Is
there a market to be served better doing the way we do things that maybe has products that we don't currently carry? So this kind of stuff is always on our mind. And
we've dabbled with calligraphy stuff before. Susie's mentioning that in the chat, dip pens, calligraphy inks. We tried that. I want to say
we crashed and burned with that stuff.
It was earlier this year because we were in our old shop. I remember. No, we were in a garage.
It was a little while ago. It was a year and a half ago.
No, I know we were in a garage. Did they make it into the old shop?
I think we had some of it that carried over, but
not much. I think we dropped it at that point.
We had tried some calligraphy stuff and really did not do well with it. Now,
granted, our customer base has grown a lot since then, so maybe I don't know. These are questions that we struggle with and wonder all the time is, we do well with fountain pens and fountain pen ink. Where can we go? Should we go calligraphy dip pen stuff? Should we go ballpoints and roller balls? We're trying to figure out if we were to diversify or, we keep going deeper into fountain pens, and that's great. But we're also trying to think, do we want to expand into these other things?
Well, we're not going to expand unless you guys start knocking down our doors for it.
Yeah, obviously everything costs a lot of money. If we were to, start all over with calligraphy stuff, it's well, first of all, we have to decide what. But, it's a lot of money to dole out for a risk. So we want to make sure that the risks we're taking are, things like you guys want. Yeah. So, so TWSBI, makes these ballpoints and pencils. So
that's really where this is all coming from, is because TWSBI, we already do really well and have a good relationship with TWSBI, and they offer these pens and ballpoints and stuff already. They're not widely available, so we could, carry them and offer them to the writing community where they're not, You know, it's not like they're offered like most ballpoints and stuff in like every single Office Max and Staples and Walmart and Amazon and all that. It's like TWSBI would be something that we could actually kind of help to bring to the world, but you know, if everybody's interested. So that's why we're kind of just like thinking about dipping our toes in the water with the ballpoints there. And you know, I've got some people that like, you know, if I have a Pilot G2 sitting on my desk when I shoot a video, that people get like really upset with me about, you know, the fact that I even have a ballpoint in our shop.
I know.
Like,
I admit I use the Pilot G2s a lot.
Well, it's a tool, you know.
Yeah.
It serves a purpose. I'm never going to sit down and write a letter with a ballpoint. Like, there's no way I'm going to do that.
No.
But if I'm writing a check on carbon copy paper or something like that,
or you're taking a phone call real quick and you're listening to a voicemail and someone's shouting out their phone number, you know, you just click and go. You know, instead of, you know, like sometimes you're not ready with a fountain pen. You know? Sometimes you run out of ink. And
I use a fountain pen like 99% of the time. But, you know, obviously the ballpoint is practical because that's what 99% of the world uses instead of fountain pens. So, you know, obviously we're exploring that. And,
there's some chat, or there's a whole side conversation going on in the chat talking about paper, talking about Banded Apple and Leuchtturm and, you know, different fountain pen friendly paper that isn't as slick as Clairefontaine and Rhodia.
That's a good sign that we've been talking too long about a given thing, is when there's a side conversation going on in the chat.
Well,
anyway.
And that's fine. Someone asked if the Leuchtturm will be coming in blank versions, not only in the monster size, the master, I guess. So the deal with Leuchtturm is, you know, distributor in the U.S. is pretty new, so they're still kind of figuring things out. As far as what to make available to retailers. Blank and graph do exist in the large size, the A5, and I think maybe the Pocket as well. Unfortunately, they're only available, they're available in the black, and we already have those in the red. Those are out there. For the colored, they only come in assorted packs. So like we have to buy like a pack of 18 that comes with like one of each color, two of each color, something like that. So we haven't done that yet, but I am working with Leuchtturm, with our distributor, to see if we can order them by the color. Because what I don't want is like a Rhodiorama type situation where we can only order it with all the colors. One color sells better than another, and we're stuck with the least popular color, and we have to keep buying more assorted packs, and we keep ending up with this big, you know, disparity between the popular and least popular colors.
Well,
so
we talked to them too.
They're very open to it, and I would expect in 2013, you know, they're working on their catalog and things like that. I would expect them to start making some changes, including bringing the dot into a wider range, especially the A5 size, the large, I guess, if you call it, or the medium, depending on where you're located. I want to see the dot. Dot's just way popular, and I don't understand why it's only available in the Slim Master. So we talked to them about bringing it in the Master, the Big Master,
the
and
Monster,
the Monster Master, the Master Monster, and in the large as well. So we are aware of it. We're working to advocate for you. To bring it in, but as long as it's like these assorted packs, it's a little difficult for us to handle. So we're working with them.
Yep.
Even if it's just black, which there is black in the other sizes. But anyway, I'm rambling.
Moving on.
I'm rambling. Okay. Yes, I'm on it.
If there's one thing we know about paper people, it's that
they are particular.
Everybody wants something different. Everybody wants something different. So it is a little bit hard sometimes for distributors, manufacturers, or whatever to make something that everybody's going to like, you know, because no matter what they do, there's going to be a very emphatic group of people that absolutely hate any change that they make. So, you know, sometimes you just have to throw up your hands and say, oh, well, I guess they're not going to do it. But, you know, we've got a pretty good sense of what's popular and what's not, and we try to pass that feedback up to all the companies, Rhodia, you know, Clairefontaine, Lloydstrom, all of them as much as we can. So we are advocating for you guys. Don't
I
worry.
have not seen the new Exoclair catalog yet, the new Clairefontaine and Rhodia.
That should be coming out pretty soon.
It is. I've asked them for that. I know they're working on it.
It's about this time that they usually come out with it, mid-December, I think.
So I think it was late December, almost January last year.
Yeah.
So as soon as we see that, we'll let you know what's new, what's coming soon.
Yeah,
I know
cool.
there's a big push to expand dots with Rhodia as well into as many products as possible. So.
Dots are the hot thing.
Dots are it.
I love dots. I mean, I take all my notes on dots and use it for all my ink reviews, and I'm a huge fan of dots because it's close to blank paper, but gives you some guidance. So that's why.
Do any journal manufacturers make smaller agenda books? I have to keep a special pen at hand to use my planner, but I don't want just any small journal because having to draw in 12 calendars myself is incredibly annoying. Check out quavadisplanners.com.
Oh my gosh, you want some options.
Yeah, they have a ton of options in all sizes. A lot of you have weekly and monthly and daily, that sort of thing. So quavadisplanners.com. So check it out. We can special order anything you see there. We can get you price quotes. So check it out. If you want a 2013 planner, I suggest do not delay. They only make a certain number. And once they're gone because who wants to be stuck with a bunch of, expired, journals or planners or whatever.
It's the only product that literally has an expiration date on it.
So if you're thinking about a planner, let us know. We can special order one, but I would not delay. If you start to get into January, February, we may start, running out.
Yeah.
Banded Apple, we do stock. It is on our site. We are one of the few people in the U.S. that has it. And thanks to Niels for posting the link there.
Yeah.
So Banded Apple we carry in Lloydstrom and Rhodia and
Monkey with Ink is saying
everything.
they wish Banded Apple had dots. Well,
I'll give them that feedback.
They may be open to that. I mean, Banded Apple is still
they're very new.
They're a very small company.
We're the first U.S. retailer to have it, and they're very receptive to changes.
Yeah.
So I will pass that feedback on. I don't think I've ever let them know that.
Yeah, we'll have to tell them.
Yeah,
5mm dot.
We have a good relationship with them. So.
Yeah, never hurts.
Never hurts. I'll let them know.
Yeah.
Next up, I see something about contests.
Yeah, well, we had some ideas for some art contests.
Well, can I put a little plug in for the current contest?
Yeah, go for it.
Our monthly ink drop contest is going on. We made some changes. I don't know if I mentioned this last week or not, but a lot of the entries were gearing more and more and more towards art, which were wonderful. Mm-hmm. But I think some people were getting intimidated. We used to have a lot of people do writing and swabs and that sort of stuff, and it just started gearing towards art, which I love and I want to continue. But I want to make sure it's open to as many people as possible. So I'm dividing up the winners into art and writing. Now, I know for some people things could go borderline, and I might have to ask you how you want to be considered because your writing can become so artistic that you can go either way.
Right.
Non-artists have feelings too. Exactly. Some people are brilliant, with well,
there's different forms of art. Just because it's not a watercolor type painting, drawing, whatever,
exactly.
doesn't mean it's not art. There's art in literature and story writing and calligraphy. It's all art.
Exactly. Even if you just are doing, just writing up the name of the color and doing a swab.
Yeah.
And the thing I want to see is, a wide range of using these inks in a variety of settings. People who use extra fine nips and people who do swabs and people who do washes with them, because you get to see the full range of what the ink can do. So there will be 4 prizes. There's like a grand prize winner and a runner-up in each category, one for art and one for writing. Now, I'm mentioning this because I only have 1 entry so far, and I know we can do better. There's nothing against that entry, and right now they're going to win because there's nobody else. But you have not a 1 out of 4. There are 4 prizes to be given away. So your odds are really good.
You have a 4 out of 4 chance of winning right now.
Right now. So I want to encourage you, if you're an Ink Drop member, or if you happen to have the 5 colors, then submit your entry, please.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my little plug.
So along those lines, though, basically because we're kind of looking at branching the ink drop contest into 2 different categories.
It got us thinking.
Well, we started getting some questions from people who are
what
like,
if I'm not an Ink Drop member?
well, yeah, exactly. People who aren't Ink Drop members, because Ink Drop is a club and you got to pay to be in it and stuff like that. And you know, obviously it's to kind of help promote and make the club more fun for the members that are involved.
Yeah.
But we could certainly do contests for non-Ink Drop members, just open contests to anyone.
We actually have a lot of prizes. I have a whole bin of things that I want to give away.
Well, and part of it too is like we're going to be doing our year-end inventory, and we have a lot of like random discontinued items and things that we've found in the shop that are, you know, things we forgot about.
4 Schaefer Preludes that I found, and I just don't want to go through all the work to list them on our site all over again, so I think we'll just give them away.
Yeah.
I think I found a clear TWSBI 540 too, and a couple stub nib units. Yeah. And I don't want to put them online because of the frenzy that will ensue. So I'm thinking we'll just give them away. So, no, not here, not now. We're talking about future contests. So, you know, I have, and again, when we do our inventory at year end, which is coming up in like 2 weeks or something.
Well, it's not like we're going to do one contest and blow all that stuff out. This is stuff that we're going to like kind of spread out throughout the year.
We actually have 2 more Lamy Studios to give away.
We do.
I don't know if that was a secret or not, but I'm just letting you know.
Yep.
We have 2 more.
We got two of those that are going to be coming. But basically, what we're looking to do, and we kind of just want to get feedback from you guys, because we're starting to, we like to think out loud, especially during write time. So give us some feedback here in the chat, or, you know, on YouTube, if you're watching the recording, put some feedback in the comments. But basically, we're thinking about doing some different types of contests.
Yeah.
We don't know logistically exactly how we're going to do it all yet, but basically it would be, that baby monitor is just beeping, stupid crazy. So we're thinking about, you know, having different types of contests, and maybe it would be like every month or something we do a different type of contest. I don't know exactly how we're going to do it or what frequency these contests would be, but it would be cool to do, you know, have like a drawing contest, sort of like
photography.
Ink Drop has done.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, photography, that would be kind of cool. I hadn't even thought of that one. I should write these down.
I'll write it down. I got it.
Okay, Rachel's got it. Okay, so some of the things we were thinking about would be like art contest, you know, drawing some kind of art. You know, Noodlers has done an art contest. We do it with Ink Drop now. That one's an obvious one. But then we thought about some other things that are just non-drawing related, you know, maybe poetry or short stories or something like that. You know, fan fiction of some kind, you know, something along that line, you know, something that involves more actual writing.
Write a joke that has to do with pens.
Yeah, maybe.
A joke
I don't know.
contest.
Yeah, so I don't know. But
I was thinking about Will's joke that he wrote.
Oh, yeah.
It's on Reddit. Someone asked for the best fountain pen joke we knew, and so we're like, okay, so Will kind of made one up. Is oh crap, how's it go?
He said,
I know the punchline.
Yeah, it's what kind of oh shoot. What's the one ink that is always ready for bed or something like that? And just I mean peach haze, you know, PJs. Yeah, something like that. We totally botched it, but anyway. So anyway, yeah, we could do jokes.
No, the contest will not be limited to social network sites. We're going to do a lot of mail-in type things. You know, because obviously if you're writing or drawing, you can either email them or mail them ideally. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's not going to be like a post or like this on Facebook sort of thing. We're looking at more interactive. We want to showcase your talents and stuff. And the thing that, you know, there are other people who do mail-ins, and those are cool, but the only thing I don't like about them is you don't get to see everything. So I'm just putting this out there, and I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I would want like to do a gallery or something to show all the entries. Even if it's a random drawing, I think you guys would want to see what everybody else does. You know, especially like what different inks people are using, what they can do with them. Like I think they should be shared. So
I mean, that's what we do with Ink Drop right now. Is that we show every entry.
Yeah, do a video, or you know, we scan them all in and have like a slideshow type thing. You know, kind of like
do that. It's really going to depend.
That's like what Nathan did with his art contest last year. Remember he
only showed the winners.
Oh,
he didn't
that's true.
show. I don't know how many entries he had, but he showed like 42 or something like that. So a lot of that is going to depend on how many entries we get for each contest. If we have something that's like write us a joke and say what it is, and we get 500 entries or something crazy,
yeah,
we're not going to be able to scan all those in and show them. So we're going to have to use some
depends
judgment.
on the contest.
But if it's something like art where people have spent like hours drawing something,
right,
you know,
right.
or you know, maybe even a short story, I don't know. We're going to have to really just kind of see
how it goes.
But that is good feedback for us. We'll really think about that.
So email us with your suggestions or ideas, you know, different ideas you have for contests that we should do. So, you know, we would love to do like a monthly contest and give away a decent prize.
Yeah.
So, you know,
yeah,
that's kind of what we're thinking.
We'll think about some different things. I don't know. Well, it's if we end up with like 6 or 8 different good ideas, we might do something every month and just kind of rotate it out.
I like that. Coming up with your own colors and...
The hard thing about that one is going to be displaying the color accurately. And we know something about trying to get a color to display accurately. That can be a tough one. That one would not be something that most people would be able to scan.
Display the art at the Washington Pen
themselves.
Show? You mean the DC show?
Well, we're probably not going to have a booth at the DC Pen Show.
We don't do booths.
We just go and have fun there. But that's a neat idea. But yeah, so I really like the everybody's all into the short stories here. That one seems to be kind of a hit. It's kind of a lot of people in the chat commenting about the short stories. That would be cool.
We would have so much fun reading all those.
Oh yeah, I would love to just be doing contests all the time.
I want to fill every wall in our office with submissions.
Well, basically, we've had contests on our mind for a really long time. And just logistically, it's
tough.
It's a lot to manage. It really is a lot to manage between coming up with a good contest, executing it properly, you know, gathering up everything, choosing a winner fairly, contacting the winners, coordinating the prizes, shipping them out. It's a tremendous amount of work to host contests and stuff.
Oh, I just have another one. We could just have people write out the alphabet. You know,
well, that would be like a calligraphy one,
right?
You know? Yeah. But anyway, so contests are a lot of fun. They're also a lot of work. So what we've been doing is we hosted a couple of non-ink drop contests. We've been doing ink drop contests every month pretty religiously now. So I think we're going to look to branch away and maybe do some more regular contests. We did a couple of them leading up to the holiday season here. We chose not to do one in December because it's just too nuts for us right now.
We're trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, so once January rolls around, we're definitely going to start rolling some more of this stuff out there.
Invent a font.
But yeah, so we'll definitely look to execute some of this stuff. It seems like there's a lot of interest. I mean, obviously, giving away free stuff, there's going to be a lot of interest in that. But, you know, we'll have to...
Email us with your ideas.
Yeah, and we'll have to budget out some prizes and stuff like that. Because, you know, giving away stuff for free costs money for us. So we'll have to make sure that, you know, we're prepared for that. But
yeah, we'll see what we can scrounge up in our warehouse.
Yeah, I'm sure we can do some cool stuff.
We have a... is it Jeroboam or is it the inkwell, the fancy inkwell? It's like made of porcelain. It's crazy.
Yeah, we got that. We can do that, and we can do a video to launch each contest and stuff. Yeah, it'll be good. We promise good things. Good things will come. But this is great feedback. I'm really glad that we kind of talked about this. So okay.
Yeah, and if we have some small things, we can do more like spontaneous giveaways during the broadcast too.
Yeah, I mean, we can do stuff during the broadcast, or we can do just leave a comment on the blog.
Maybe I'll bring one of those TWSBI nib units next week.
Yeah.
You know, who wants a 540 stub nib, you know?
Maybe. I don't know. It's like doing contests during the broadcast is tough because it kind of
takes
our focus away from everything and I don't know. We're already doing so much during the broadcast. Like I'm having to produce the whole thing and put up all these lower thirds and stuff like that. So
well, that's an idea.
Don't promise anything, Rachel. Don't promise.
I didn't promise. I said maybe.
Okay. We like to spitball ideas, so don't take everything that we say completely as fact. Okay, so let's move on. We got some good ideas for contests. That's definitely something that we're going to do. And okay, so we're going to move on to. We've been getting a lot of questions, especially about
Goulet ink diet.
Yeah, we've been on a bit of an ink diet. Now we've carried up to about 675 inks,
give or take. I lost count.
Yeah,
I used to
at our peak.
know, but.
Yeah.
You get seasonal stuff that goes in and out. It's
yeah.
Count.
And a lot of that was because Diatramentis. We were carrying about 220 Diatramentis colors. There's well over 300 colors total.
Yeah, so the thing with Diatramentis is before we carried it, we've been carrying it for about a year now. It's been almost a year exactly, give or take. and there were no swabs. They have their own color chart out there for their standard line, but really I hadn't seen many reviews or swabs out there. So we didn't really know what we were getting. We're like, oh, George Washington, that sounds cool, you know, or like mimosa, like scent of, you know.
or you like see things written on Fountain Pen Network about what ink color is, but there's no scan or anything like that.
Well, and you have to take people's scans with a grain of salt too, because you never know how their color profile and that sort of things.
Yeah.
So, you know, we started with the standard line and a couple scent. You know, we kind of gradually grew into the scents and historic people and things like that. And we realized that there were a lot of duplicates, as you guys probably know. You know, duplicates of color. Now, some have scent, some don't. But then there's duplicates into, like, the people, for example. So there's, like, I was counting, there's, like, 6 or 7 dark blues that look almost exactly the same to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, these are based on our swabs. And, you know, there might be some subtle differences, but they're basically the same. And we looked at our overall sales, you know, now that we've had a year, and looked at what was selling and what wasn't. You know, we don't want to cannibalize the whole brand by having too many of the same options. So
yeah, that's really what it was. And it was to try to help.
Or scents that nobody likes. You know?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people were getting confused because we get emails about why is this color, what makes this color different? And it's like, well, not much, you know? So it's trying to just narrow it down a little bit, make things a little less confusing.
So we've dropped, I want to say around 60 or so, give or take, colors. We dropped the Magic line. Most people say the ink stunk. Some people love them, and we still have a couple left.
Well, and we can always special order things too.
Well, that's the thing I want to say. Anything we don't have, if Diatramentis has on their website, we can order it. It'll be just normal price, because we can order one at a time of any given color. So we dropped the Magic line, we dropped the Wine line, and I've dropped a lot of the scented inks and quite a few of the people. I'm going to keep the entire standard line and the Black Edition. And we have, you know, the seasonal inks and stuff like that too, but I'm going to be pretty selective about what we keep among the scents and the historic people. We may trim it a little further. I need to see how the sales go in the next couple months.
Yeah.
But honestly, we're trying to make it easier for you to choose an ink, because if you're overwhelmed with too many similar options, it
gets confusing.
Well, it's really overwhelming.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but it's like the more we have of similar colors, the less the inks are going to turn over. We're going to have them sitting on our shelf longer, and we want to try to keep our stock fresh.
Yeah.
So that's also like a lot of times people notice we have things on sale, like certain colors that not other ones. Sometimes we just kind of look through in our inventory and see like, okay, what inks haven't moved as fast.
Or stuff that we got mixed up and accidentally ordered too much, or they accidentally sent us too much, you know. So we're just trying to keep our inventory fresh. So if you go in the Goulet outlay, and you go to the closeouts page, you'll see all the stuff, all that we've left that we're closing out, and the prices are like basically at our cost. So they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So get it while they last. The samples are discounted too. We're just trying to blow them all out, especially by the end of the year, because otherwise we have to pay extra taxes on them. So
yeah.
Goulet outlay, or outlet as it looks, but put a little accent on the E. Goulet outlay. Thank you for the link
there you go.
in the chat.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was Organic Studio, because we just recently made a decision about those. I've been getting a couple emails about them lately. Basically, we started carrying Organic Studios this summer. And then we kind of quickly sold out and haven't had them for months. The reason being because the guy that makes them is still a junior in college. And so he's got his studies and internships and stuff like that he's going through. So we kind of tested the waters with him, and he was really excited and seemed really good to deal with and stuff. And he's a really nice guy, and we wish him the best for the time being.
Now that he's getting home for winter break, he's been making a bunch of our colors. If you follow him on Facebook or FPN, you probably saw this. We saw that he reformulated the colors that we have. Yeah. And he had very limited stock, and for just a lot of reasons, we decided that now.
Well, mainly it was because when we carry an ink, we do reviews, we do swabs, I shoot videos. It's a very, very time-consuming process for us to ensure we get accurate representation of what the ink is. So as soon as something is reformulated,
We have to redo everything.
We have to redo everything all over again. And when we only get limited sporadic stock, it makes it not economical.
And that's
for us
how
to
it would
carry
continue to be as long as he's in school. And, you know, that's we had that understanding going in, and, you know, we're splitting amicably.
Well,
but
initially we had the understanding that he was going to continue to make the inks while in school.
Right, but then
that's why we had agreed to do it. But he ended up getting like an internship, which is a good opportunity for him. But it made it so that he wasn't able to produce anything in the winter or in the fall season, semester. So it was kind of like, okay, well, we'll wait until winter and see how it goes. And now he's reformulated, and so it's like, okay, well, he's only going to be able to make inks for a couple of weeks.
And then back to spring
and then he's going to be back in the spring, and it's like, you know what? Let's just put this on hold.
Yep.
Like, you can, keep at it, keep doing your thing. Once you get a little more stabilized.
So he's selling on Amazon through Bertram's, because that's where he lives, in his local retailer, and he may seek out some other retailers. Yeah. But for right now, we're not restocking. And we're going to explore it in the future once he's able to ramp up his production and, keep everything regularly in stock. Because I don't want to carry something and then not have it for sale, because that's just,
Yeah.
So that's the deal with that. So we have a couple bottles of carbon left and some samples, but that's pretty much it. So once they're gone, we'll be done with that line, at least for right now.
Yep.
So nothing hard feelings or anything like that. It's just... timing isn't right.
Yep. The last kind of thing that we have on our agenda here is the Noodler's Konrad brush pens. Well, first I want to talk about Noodler's 54th. I did get a video up on that today. Nathan Tardif.
Great ink.
Nathan Tardif also has a video on that. I'm a huge fan of that ink.
We all love it.
We've had it for over a month now, and it's a phenomenal ink.
If you like Noodler's black, but you want some color.
Yeah, basically, if you want Noodler's black, but in a blue-black form, that's 54th. And actually, it's like, as I was preparing for the video, I was looking through all of the inks. There really are not many waterproof blue blacks.
No.
There really, really aren't. There's a lot of blacks, but blue blacks, there's basically like...
well, then you get like registrars and...
Well, you got the but that turns black after a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't really consider that blue black. And it's iron gall, and it's kind of in its own category.
Yeah.
So you've basically got like the Sailor Seiboku,
which is very blue.
Which is very not really blue black. It's kind of blue, dark blue, but it's also pigmented. So it's kind of in its own weird thing too. You got Roaring Klinger Salix, which is an iron gall as well. And so that does kind of darken up, not as much as the registrars does, but it is iron gall.
And then you have like the Wardens, like Kingfisher.
You got Bad Belted Kingfisher and Bad Blue Heron.
You got Aircore Blue Black, which leans very green.
Yeah, and then you've got like Noodler's Blue Black is also, it's not bulletproof, but it's water resistant. But that one is still kind of more green as well.
Yeah, nothing is as waterproof as 54th.
Yeah.
54th is just
so like really it's like Bad Belted Kingfisher, Bad Blue Heron. We're kind of like the waterproof blue blacks,
which are a lot more blue. When you compare the two side by side, they definitely lean more blue than the blue black, blue gray kind of that 54th is.
Yeah.
So
really, when it comes to conventional, when I say conventional, I mean not iron gall or not pigmented. Dye-based fountain pen ink. You're pretty much limited in what's a permanent blue black. So 54th really just kind of like nailed it as far as I'm concerned.
Any smearing with the 54th, like on Rhodia or...
Yeah, it'll smear a bit. That's not uncommon for any of the Noodler's bulletproofs. But you can look at my review. I use it on Rhodia. I use it on HP 24-pound laser jet and on Mead paper, which the Mead paper, it absorbed in like 3 seconds. It was dry, didn't smear. So the absorbency of the paper plays a huge factor as to how much this ink will smear.
Yeah,
which is exactly what I expected. I've used a lot of these Noodler's bulletproofs now, and that's kind of a common thing. And I explain why that is in the video and in the written blog post too. It's because the Noodler's inks are cellulose reactive. So they have to actually get down and absorb into the paper to create that permanent bond, unlike the pigmented
inks,
which will dry right on top.
If the excess ink is on top.
Right.
So anyway.
But along those lines, I do have the Noodler's Konrad brush pens. I've been getting some questions about those. Noodler's Nathan put out a video of the brush pens around the time that he did the 54th Massachusetts video. That's kind of where I was going with all this. And I have my pens inked up with 54th Massachusetts. So we've been getting some questions about the Noodler's Konrad brush pens. So there's some things on them. I've got some time finally to play with them today, and so I can answer some things a little more intelligently now. One of the biggest questions that we've been getting is, can you swap the brush feed and brush tip with the flex nib, because it's the same Konrad pen, style as the flex pen, as it is in the brush pen. Can you interchange the brush tip and the flex pen nib? And I found that you cannot interchange them out. And the reason is because the brush tip, and if you watch Nathan's brush video, you'll see him do this somewhere in the 37-minute video. But basically, if you unscrew, boy, let's see if I can do this without getting ink everywhere because this pen is inked up. Okay. To remove the thing, you have to physically unthread this thing out of here, which if you had any of the brush pens that were the prototypes before, they were just friction fit inside the pen. That is not the case with these pens. So it is, oh gosh, this is a terrible idea. Okay,
especially because you have to touch your computer.
Yeah, I need to not drip this on the computer. But anyway, on the end there right here, there are some threads on this brush tip. And there are threads actually cut into the body of the Konrad brush pen. And those threads mate up, and you screw it in there, and it locks in there very positively. And very, now I got ink on my fingers. But it locks in there very, intentionally.
Securely.
Because those threads are in the body for the brush tip, it stops the feed of the Noodler's flex nib and the feed from being able to go in as far as it needs to go to write properly. So
it's going to be sticking way out.
It can fit in there, it's not going to write well. And likewise, you can take this brush tip and put it in the body of another flex pen, but it really kind of fits in there a little bit loose. I didn't try inking it up that way, but I imagine it's going to drip out of there pretty
I wonder
bad.
if Nathan will change the Konrad flex pens to, to be this sort of internal screw, to have them be interchangeable in the future.
Well, it's not going to screw in. I doubt he would do that.
I mean, he had talked a long time ago about having interchangeable, basically, units of a brush pen or a rollerball tip, or, he mentioned a blade, or, a flex nib or something like that. Maybe it's, future redesign.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know. But anyway,
I'm just speculating.
This is a cool thing to tell, because actually, I can't remember if I did a video on the old brush pen or not.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. But anyway, the old brush pen, even though the feed didn't screw in, it was just friction fit, it was still a different size than the flex nib and feed. So they still weren't interchangeable. So that's not anything new. But anyway, so that's what it is. It's still a $20 piston fill brush pen, which is just
the other
amazing.
thing you want to cover is the fine versus medium.
Right. That's the other question I've been getting a lot. Is there is a fine tip. I was going to say nib, but that's not a nib. There's a fine tip and a medium tip, and I've been getting asked what's the difference. Honestly, not much.
I don't know. I need to confirm this, but I don't know that there's going to be a differentiation ongoing. They may just be one size ongoing.
Yeah.
And again, you can get the separate brush tip and cut it to whatever you want. So if you like the brown tortoise, but you don't like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, and I have it. I'm going to be shooting a video on these brush pens soon. I was going to try and shoot it today. It may end up being tomorrow or later on. But anyway, I was playing around, and you're able to get some really, really fine lines with these brush pens, and then you're able to get some incredibly fat lines as well. So it's really kind of neat. I'm a total hack. I don't know what I'm doing with a brush pen, but it's definitely something that is kind of fun to play around with. And, for artists who really enjoy this kind of stuff, being able to use any ink you want, especially if you use pigmented inks like platinum carbon or anything like that. If you do watercolor washing, anything. I mean, this is going to be this is going to be just really exciting for you folks.
Do rollerball tips fit in the brush feed?
I don't know. I didn't try that. Daggone it. I didn't think of that.
You'll do that before your video.
Will it fit in there? It might. I don't know. That's an excellent question. That is an excellent question. I am gonna try that.
When it's not full of ink.
Right. Right. But the brush tips are removable. You can buy replacement brush tips, and you can cut it.
I think we're out, but we have more coming tomorrow. By the way.
Yeah. They come really fat. Like they come basically 3 times the size of what's in the pen.
You're supposed to cut it in the thirds.
You're supposed to cut it. Nathan shows it in the video. I'll try to do it myself and put it in the video too. But anyway, you know, you can cut it down to be fine or medium or whatever. So honestly, it's like the black pen comes in a fine. And the, you know, I'll go ahead and show you. The black pen is this one right here. This one comes in a fine, and then the other one, the brown tortoise, that one comes in a medium only. But really, there's not much of a difference.
Are the new rollerballs coming anytime soon, like the Konrad rollerballs? I hope so. He's talking about it.
I'm not really sure. Like, his timelines are kind of thrown off because he's still just one guy, you know, Nathan, and he coordinates all of the manufacture of these pens in India and deals with parts from all over the world that have to get coordinated. And, you know, he QCs a lot of this stuff himself and designs custom pieces himself. So the timelines for him are very loose, and it all depends on, like, sometimes, like the Ebonite Konrads that we just got in last week.
Oh, there's a question.
They had been around for Nathan had them for like 3 months, but he had to QC every single pen, you know, as it was coming through because they're handmade and
do we mention
stuff like that
we're getting more Ebonite Konrads next week?
I don't think so.
Okay, we're getting more Ebonite Konrads next week.
Apparently.
Question in the chat, will you, and they asked before and I'm sorry we missed it,
okay.
Will you consider carrying other pen related accessories such as loops, mesh pads, shims, etc.?
I'm open to that stuff. I'm trying to source some of that stuff out.
It's been real tough to find a wholesale.
Trying to find a reliable source of that kind of stuff is really tough. I need to do more research on that, but it is definitely on my mind. The loops are the hardest thing to find. You know,
do we have a source for the mesh pads?
No, not really.
Oh, here's the other thing. He and Brian Gray recorded a video at the DC show about how to smooth a nib using micro mesh, or not micro mesh, you didn't do that, Mylar paper and a loop and such.
Yeah.
We were waiting until we could source some of these things out to sell them.
Well, now I'm wondering if I should have just posted the video and say forget it.
Well, yeah, the reason we don't want to post the video is like, oh, you need a loop, and then they're like, well, where do I get a loop? It's like, well, not from us. Sorry.
I don't know. I got mine from Lee Valley Tools. They're a Canadian woodworking supplier.
Richard Bender has some.
Richard Bender, I don't really like his very much. I don't like small jeweler's loops. I prefer a larger loop because I have big hands, and holding this little jeweler's loop is a pain for me. But
so we're in the process of trying to find some.
And I debate too, because like some people get really, really particular about the kind of loops. Like some people are like, oh, you need this specific like $300 loop. Anything else that you use is ridiculous.
We asked Nathan what he uses.
Nathan was like, why don't you just buy a magnifying glass from the drugstore?
That's what
and
he
I was
uses.
Like, well, that's okay, yeah. I mean, and Nathan has repaired vintage pens for 25 years. I don't think you need a crazy expensive jeweler's loop. So I'm trying to figure out, like, do I really try and source out like these really nice high-end loops and then have that be, or do I just get like some cheap loops that'll just kind of get the job done? You know, it's like most people, I think you're just kind of looking for some kind of magnification to see what's going on.
And ideally with a light, you know, we're looking for like an LED light on it. You know,
I have a great loop that I absolutely love, but I cannot find a wholesale source for them. So it's like until I can find them and be able to carry them economically.
And if anyone speaks Chinese, I think we could buy some from China, but I can't figure out their website.
Yeah, well, you can go to like Alibaba and buy like 10,000 loops at a time, you know, all this stuff. Yeah, photography loops, like that's another option too, you know, but it's like, it's really just like, every now and then we get into some things like the bulb syringes. And
I
just
wonder
like,
if we should just try to find something that isn't, I know it's not going to be yours, but something that will work and get the job done. Like for us, like we need something higher tech. We're inspecting pens that we're selling, that sort of thing. But for the average person who just has a couple pens they need to check,
Well, that's the thing is like if you have, a Lamy Safari, are you really going to spend even like the Belomo, those are, $30-$40. That's a lot of money to spend for a new person in fountain pens.
We would love a volunteer to navigate Chinese websites. If you can find us a wholesale source for loops, we will give you some.
Well, that's the thing is like, we deal with fountain pens and stuff like that, but when you get into like these peripheral supplies and stuff, it's like a whole other world, and the types of suppliers that you deal with are not fountain pen people, So it's like you really have to do a lot of research and buy all kinds of prototypes and stuff. And I honestly just haven't had the time to invest to do all that for micro mesh and mylar paper and loops.
I mean,
all these different components. Like each single one is a whole different supplier with a whole different chain and all different experimentation.
I think we have one for mylar paper set up. Micro mesh, I know what we need to get. We just need to figure out who the supplier is. But like as far as the loops go, I think we should just. It might not be the best thing, and if we find the best thing later on, we could always upgrade.
Yeah.
But maybe we should just find something that will work and get the job done.
Well, see, that's the problem is I don't know. I mean, literally, I'm just shooting in the dark right now as far as loops go. I know what I like, but I can't. I have the loop that I like, but I don't know where the supplier is to be able to get it. So. Go figure. That's the backstory anyway. But I might just go ahead and just post the video that Brian and I made. It's been so long, and at least the information would be good to get out there, and you can have a concept of what needs to happen anyway. So, anyway.
Oh, we don't have platinum in the nib nook?
I haven't done it
yet.
Brian! Sorry. We were sick,
I know.
And Drew's on vacation, and I'm having to backfill a lot of stuff. So, it's coming. It's coming. It's just, sometimes we get a little bit behind, but it's coming. So anyway, so that's about all we got for tonight. It's 10:20. We should probably wrap this thing up. But anyway, yeah.
All right. So if you can help us with loops, let us know. If you have contest ideas, let us know. If you know what color TWSBI pen you might like, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty much it? Oh, and if you want to buy ballpoints or roller balls, and along those lines, we can special order any of our existing brands. So like I've special ordered Lamy Safari pencils and Vista rollerballs, and I did a Monteverde Invincia Deluxe ballpoint. So like if you have any interest in those, just let us know.
We don't view ballpoints as being some kind of sacrilege to what we do.
No, it's Oh, winter Edison LE's gonna ship. He's currently working on them. We posted some pictures.
We don't know exactly. It depends on how smoothly everything runs for him. I think right now the biggest holdup is
he's waiting on a part.
He's waiting on the medallion, more medallions and center bands.
Yeah, he has some of the medallions. He's waiting on some more. So hopefully this month. But worst case it'll be January.
He's shooting to try to have them done before Christmas. If everything goes to plan, that will probably happen. But anything can happen, so we're not promising anything. But mid-January is what we had committed to.
Someone says, totally off topic, but the black matte vanishing point is considered a limited edition, right? Nope, it is not. It is part of the regular line.
Yeah. It's more of a special... it comes in special packaging. It comes in a special box.
Initially, when it came out, we thought it was limited edition, but it is not.
Yeah, well, they do limited edition vanishing points every year, and they're numbered, and they come...
And they're much more expensive.
They come in like a, buckled leather box and stuff like that. But that was not the black matte vanishing point. That was just kind of a special pen they came out with, and it's been available for 2 years now.
There's some cool pilot stuff coming out in the spring. I can't share a lot of it yet, but there's some cool new stuff coming out. So...
Yeah.
April or so. The new Orochi ink should be here in early January. And then some new pens coming by April or so. So we're pretty excited about that. We'll share more when we can.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
The Metropolitan you can get in a roller ball or ballpoint too.
Really?
Yeah. It's like 13 something.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's less impressive to me as a ballpoint.
Any plans for carrying the pilot penmanship? I don't believe it's imported into the U.S.
Yeah, it's not something that we can get.
So unfortunately we can't get it.
I would get it if we could because they have an extra fine nib on it.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Unfortunately we can't. Yeah, I'm pushing them for those Metros and Fine. Like, it's a no-brainer. I feel like they should. I know there's some new colors they're working on for next year, bringing into the U.S. But
Yeah. And other than,
they have not said they're bringing in Fines. I'm going to keep pushing them.
other than the Varsity, we carry every single Pilot pen.
And we used to carry the Varsity. The only reason I don't is because Amazon is so stupid cheap and we just can't compete with their pricing, so I just gave up trying.
Well, and they're disposable anyway. They kind of fall in line with like ink cartridges.
I mean,
and
there's
stuff.
nothing
They
wrong
didn't really
with,
sell that well for us.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Varsity. I think the reason they didn't sell is because you can get them on Amazon for so cheap. The Decima is the same thing. Can't get it in the U.S.
Look at our website. Everything that we have, except for the Varsity, that's everything you can get in the U.S.
No, well, there's
with the exception of the higher end.
Yeah,
stuff.
the Sterling and the like various Maquiers.
Yeah, those are like kind of special edition.
Go to Namiki. Is it Namiki.com or NamikiPens.com? I can't remember.
I don't remember the URL.
Namiki.com. Anything you see on there, we can get. If it's not on there, we can't get it.
If you got 15 grand laying around and you want to get yourself an Emperor,
Yeah, we could do it.
we could do that.
We could do it. And the Pilot
They
Knights,
look nice. They look real
ignore
nice.
that.
Yeah, we could, take a second mortgage on our house and get a Emperor. That'd be worth it.
Second mortgage for an Emperor? That's insane.
Oh, I'm kidding. Obviously. But anyway, yeah.
We should probably wrap up.
Yep. Okay, so thanks everybody for joining us here for another Right Time. This has
Are we
been
going to do it next
fun.
week?
I don't know.
Next week's the 19th. It's not quite Christmas yet.
It's not, but we got a lot going on next week.
We got our company holiday party. Ellie's birthday is next week. Our daughter turns 1.
I don't know.
Got family coming into town for Christmas.
In the chat, what do you guys think about, a broadcast
I'm
next
more worried
week?
about the post-production the following day because we got so much going on.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. And like even the following week, it's like that's going to be
Christmas.
It's going to be the day after Christmas. A lot of people are still
I
going
don't
to be
know,
traveling
guys.
and stuff. I don't know.
Is this our last one for the year?
I don't know. If we don't do it next week and don't do it the week after,
Then
it
we'll
would
see
be
you
the
in
last.
2013.
It would be the last of the year, right? Wouldn't that be the case?
Everyone says take off, take a break, be with your family. Maybe we should.
Maybe.
Honestly, the night before, like we're having our company holiday party here the next day. We're going to need to be like cooking and cleaning and not,
And then we're hosting our family for Christmas and they're going to be leaving like...
And it's Ellie's birthday party. Yeah, we got a lot going on.
We have a lot going on.
You know what? We'll see you in 2013. You guys can email us. We'll answer your questions. But I think as far as Right Time goes, I think we'll see you in January.
Yeah, and plus we've kind of covered almost everything new that's come in.
I'm not going to have anything new to talk about next week, probably.
Yeah, and we're going to be so busy with other stuff, I'm not going to probably have a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
So Merry Christmas,
right,
or
works.
Happy Hanukkah, or Happy Kwanzaa, or...
Whatever it is you celebrate.
Happy winter solstice, or Happy end of the world if the Mayan calendar is true. I don't know. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2013.
Yep. Right on.
All right.
Right on, everybody. We'll see you next year.